How Do Drugs Impact Americans by Jesse Lanier, Kaylee Johnson, Alondrina Perez, and Hannah Custer.
Introduction to drugs. According to Oxford Languages, drugs are substances that have many effects when ingested or introduced to the body. Around 37 million American adults are currently struggling from addiction. The National Institute on Drug Abuse shows that addictions can be caused from a variety of reasons. One of these reasons is the way a person grows up. Drugs affect people mentally and physically, and it can also affect the people around them. Different types of drugs are currently being transported throughout America, including narcotics, opioids, and opiates.
The movement of drugs is the transportation of drugs into the U.S. Many of these drugs are brought into the U.S., which are being sold by drug dealers. This can lead to so many issues, like going into rural areas, and teens can become affected by the drugs. According to William A. Doherty Jr., the U.S. has the highest rate of consumers in the world. But where do all these substances come from? Most of them are brought by cartels and narcos. According to an article, Drug Movement into and within the United States, they bring these drugs overseas instead of land routes, so there's a higher chance of them not getting caught. In the article, they also include that they transport the drugs from North Mexico to the coastlines of Texas. After the drugs are inside the U.S., many drug dealers are drug trafficking in many different areas. According to Manojo Shamara, he or she claims that many drug dealers may approach the young teens and offer them free drugs for the first time. They also sell these drugs in rural areas with less cops around.
How drugs affect people mentally. A large majority of Americans have either been directly impacted by drugs or know someone who has. Improper drug usage is a growing problem in the United States that needs to be addressed. Whether using them medically or for pleasure, the mental health of one can drastically decrease after being intoxicated, which according to Trivia Envy Grand PC, a DWI and criminal defensive law firm, is when one has lost the normal use of their mental or physical facilities by ingesting alcoholic beverages, a drug, a controlled substance, or any combination thereof. Even though one may feel good while doing drugs, it can lead to anxiety, depression, memory loss, or even death. Research has shown that drugs negatively affect teenagers much more than it does adults, and teens who smoke weed are highly risking stunting brain activity and development, as well as memory function. Drug addiction causes brain diseases that are long-term and destroy the body's health. So in order to help the future generations, we must bring awareness to getting help with addiction.
Drugs have many physical effects to someone, but one of the main ones is appearance. According to Crozer Health, your appearance with doing drugs can cause nose, mouth, and eye changes. As you can see here, we have an example of the Olsen twins before and after doing drugs. On the left, we have the Olsen twins before doing drugs, and on the right, we have the Olsen twins after doing drugs. You can see the difference between their facial structure, like their mouth, nose, and eyes have dramatically changed. We also have a woman over here that has done drugs before going to jail, and you can see that her facial structure isn't like the before picture of the Olsen twins.
Family effects. Families are negatively impacted from drugs. Many homes are turned into toxic households and environments. Children are physically and mentally abused and are most of the time unable to receive what they need. These adolescents often have a misconception of what a parent should look like. Many behavioral issues are also common for these children in public spaces. Children might even come to turn to drugs at some point in their life as a way to cope from their childhood trauma. According to an article written by Pamela Korsmay and Henry Kranzler, children who grew up in a household with substance abusing parents are more likely to engage in some form of abuse and neglect to their own offspring. This ultimately creates unbreakable cycles for future generations. Although children are not the only ones being affected in these situations, all loved ones can be affected. An entire family can be broken from just one addiction.
There are many solutions to drug epidemic, and programs that can help motivate teens to not do drugs. According to CGA.ct.gov, they mentioned one famous program called DARE, meaning Drug Abuse Resistant Education, which includes cops going to many different schools around their district and help motivate young teens to stop or to not join drugs. If we include this program more into schools and bring people they can tell their stories with drugs, this can help many teens to seek more help or to help them fight their battles with drugs. This can also affect who's going to pay for all of this. If we also include drug counselors in school to help teens overcome their fear, this can help reduce the drug epidemic.
Another solution could be protecting the border more, directing Marines to patrol the Pacific Ocean by the border could help drastically because a large percentage of illegal drugs are smuggled in by the border. A pro to this is that it will reduce the amount of drugs imported into the states, a con being that it could be ineffective if not done right.
The ultimate solution. The ultimate solution for this drug epidemic in America is to create accessible and affordable rehab centers. According to American Addiction Centers, treatment costs can vary depending on the person or facility, but they can be as expensive as $80,000. A pro to the solution is it will create more opportunities for people. If they have more opportunities to receive help, they are less likely to get in trouble. A con to the solution would be finding the proper funding from the government. The government would have to be on board and supportive towards this. Implications. If we go through with the solution, then more people will be able to live a healthier and happier life without a lifelong addiction ahead of them. If we don't go through with creating accessible and affordable drug programs, then there will be an increase in the usage of drugs and more people will go to jail. If more people are going to jail, this will just add on to an issue already occurring.
Overall, we have talked about the difference between the movement of drugs, mental effects, physical effects, family effects, solutions to drug use, and drug abuse to teens. And here are our sources.
Thank you.